That should enable both of us then, I'm assuming. I'll put it on my PC as well. I'll just mute it.
Right then, boys. We'll give it 15 seconds.
You gonna go first, Sean?
You can do, mate, yeah?
Just so we don't both talk together.
And Andy, you're going to mute your mic as well, so we don't hear your music.
Yeah, because it's shit.
Cheers, mate. Right, we're in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final round of the Motive Racing GT3 class on the Wednesday evening. Alongside me, we have Motormouth. Good evening, Motormouth.
Good evening, and hopefully I won't totally live up to my name, so everybody else can get a win in edgeways.
Good to have you alongside me for this one. We've currently got just over 2 minutes left of the free practice. Most drivers have kind of been out and done a few laps, looking to do some final touches to their setups, making sure that they get the most out of it. Currently watching Jazzman go round, who set the fastest time of an unbelievable lap, a 1:47.7, which is extremely quick.
I was going to say, just cutting in there, if I may, I think the last time I did a lap like that around here was in Project Cars 2 in a GT, in an AMG GT.
Yeah, so it's super quick, and at the moment, I mean, Ryan Ruby is second place in the practice session, quite a long way off the pace, 1.1 behind Jazzman. So yeah, it's an extremely impressive lap time. I mean, and kind of looking at the championship standings itself, Jazzman is sitting kind of in the lead of the championship going into this final race, with Ryan Ruby who's second place, 21 points behind. So Ryan really needs to kind of push on and get in front of Jazzman if he can, but also not only does Ryan need to win the race, he would need Jazzman to actually finish below 9th for him to take the championship. Yeah.
Sorry, I should not.
Or completely take him out of the race to then go on to win it.
Yeah, not really great that, but is it still the same? I know you mentioned earlier on before we came on air, but the top four are still the top four in the championship, aren't they? Jazzman, Ryan Ruby, Iron Saber, John Jig.
Yes, yeah, I was going to run through it. So as it stands at the moment, so you've got Jazzman, who's set the fastest time, who's sitting first in the championship, followed by Ryan Ruby, who set the second fastest time. Iron Saber's currently third in the championship. He's got an outside chance of actually jumping Ryan if Ryan doesn't have the race that he's looking for to then take the second place in the championship. He's 19 points behind Ryan. So again, he needs Ryan to kind of have a kind of a poor show this evening if he's looking to jump him, and then fourth place in the standings is John Jig, who's currently set the fourth fastest time. And again, John Jig is another one that he could actually jump Iron Saber if Iron Saber doesn't have the race that he's looking for, and John Jig actually pulls out and gets high up the standings, because he is only 20 odd points behind as well. So it could be,
needs everyone in front to basically die, don't they?
Yeah, pretty much, yes. So yeah, it could be very interesting kind of going into the later stages of this race to see where people are. But I'll try and work it out. Although, as you was just telling me off air, you're whiz with numbers, so I'll start throwing some numbers out to you. See how your calculations come along.
I'm usually pretty good, so now that I've said that, I'll probably fall flat on my face and be a complete clown. But, so where's, just on as a thought with obviously the other guys, obviously I know, am I right in saying Rick Vantage hasn't done all the races? Yeah, so Rick
Vantage is a reserve. He's actually, I think he's only raced in one race, which I believe... no, let me have a look. Actually, no, so Wreck Advantage, yeah, so he's actually missed 3 races.
Looks pretty good, though, in that Porky.
He does, definitely does, yeah. To be fair, he's actually our reigning multi-class GT3 champion.
Right, so he's got form.
Yeah. He definitely has, yeah. So the guys are just literally going out now to do their first of all their outlap, and then they get one shot at qualifying. So definitely makes it interesting.
The one thought I was going to say with this quality, and again, it's just something that clicks in my mind from the way that other sessions go. In theory, as the track rubbers in and gets better, I know it's only a short qualifying session, but really, you want to go out last, don't you? You want to time it so that you can be in a perfect world, do you think?
I'd go out first, because the qualifying is set up that it's set up for day 3. So you can see that the track's optimum. Yes, it's not as rubbered in as it could be, but in kind of the fact that the guys are only going to be doing most, so they're going to go around twice. It's not going to. Yeah, it's not going to change that much. So personally, I'd look to go out first, so I don't get slowed down by anyone in front.
Yeah, get some clean air in front of you.
Yeah,
just a thought. I just thought I'd throw that one in, just as it's just one of those thoughts that you get sometimes, just to see where you are. Oh, where's Pete going? He's going to the beach, bless him.
But you've actually got a few that have sat in the pits, so they might have been listening. So Andy's just come out, but you've got Duke Martin, Archie, and Quiz, who's making his debut for motor racing this evening. He's currently sat in the pits as well.
Yeah, like I say, he's a name that I know from yesteryear. He might remember mine, but he might remember my V8 name when I had less cylinders. Now I've got 4 more cylinders. Not that it makes me any quicker, but it just makes my mouth go faster, I think. But again, Archie's looked pretty good. He's a guy that I didn't know from before, and again, I thought he looked pretty decent, in fairness.
Yeah, he had an extremely good start at Silverstone. I think it was his first race with us, and looked very impressive actually. And I think that was a wet race that we had at Silverstone.
I'm better in the wet. Makes everyone else rubbish, so it makes him closer to me.
But yeah, he definitely looks racy. He hasn't found that form since. He's kind of been at the sharp end of the midfield battles, but he hasn't kind of seemed to have found that form and kind of been able to push on from his debut race at Silverstone. But Wreck Advantage has just crossed the line to start his hot lap, and I think he's followed by Pete Bibb. Yep. So we'll keep an eye on those two.
Pete will be hoping to keep. I mean, you get it right with that Porsche. It's not the easiest car. It's a tough car, personally, from my perspective, to drive. But if you get it right, it's rapid.
Yeah, it's my go-to car actually. It's the Porsche. Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure if I've got a go-to car, because I'm using a different car in every championship, and I used Godzilla when nobody else went near it.
There's a reason that nobody else went near it.
No, it doesn't really get a very good rap, but I like it as a car. Only because I've sat in one in real life and started it up. I didn't get to drive it, but that's as close as it got for me. But I did like, probably of all the cars I've used, apart from the Bentley because it's right-hand drive and it was the first car I ever used when I got the game. I've never used it since, mind. But the 720S, the McLaren, I really did like that as a car, and I like the Merc as well.
Yeah, the McLaren's a solid car actually. It's kind of one of the ones that's an all-rounder. I think similar to the Bentley. I think I agree with you as well. Right-hand side, I can't cope with it. Yeah. It's weird because we live in England. That's the side that we would actually drive on, but put us in a sim car and we want it the opposite. Yeah, exactly that.
There you go. I think the only man putting a marker.
So Jazzman actually completed his lap, so 48.4, so quite a way off of his original pace that he had in the practice session. So Wreck Advantage now just coming round.
47, wasn't it?
Wreck Advantage just coming round the last corner. John Jig is 3 seconds off of Jazzman.
But it is really hard to get. What do these guys do? These are close. Go on, we'll cover this first because we're going to get them all flying in, aren't we?
Yeah, so Wreck Advantage comes in 2.4 behind. Pete Bibb comes in company 6th. 4 seconds behind. I actually messed up that. I thought that Wreck Advantage was out first.
Yeah, I did. To be honest, I didn't see that any different either.
And we've got Torday, he's now coming round, so he's next over the line. He's just coming over the line now. See what time he can put in. 6 seconds off the pace, so currently sitting in 9th. We've got Lazy Camel, he's coming in, just coming down the straight.
He's about to come in now, is he?
7.4 off the pace, and that's number 97. Is that Andy? So that's Andy.
Yeah. What's he going to do? Is he going to
Puts
get in the
himself-
top? Oh, well done. Got in the top 4 at the minute.
So he's in 4th. So we've got Quinn. I don't think that's a hot lap though. The quiz rather.
Is he giving it? Freudian slip there. I'm sorry. If anybody caught that one.
Oh no, he did. He did. So he gets He goes first. 2 seconds off the pace, and then we got Archie just coming round.
Where's he gonna get? You gonna get in the top
P4.
10?
P4 for Archie.
The thing for me, I don't like looking at the track. It was 31. Ambient 31, track 37. So it's going to warm the tyres up pretty quick. But it's to do a one-off like that. Your tyres obviously don't start off very good. So what do? Do you make the pressures really high for it and just hope for the best?
It's a difficult one, which is why we decided to do it. You know, give it a one-shot quali.
Yeah, I like it.
Same as Ryan Ruby, he struggled all season long to actually set a qualifying time. Again, so even tonight, again, with the importance as well of being qualifying high up. Yeah, he's not been able to set a lap time. He'd be really disappointed with that. But he struggled all season. I think he may have only put in maybe 2 out of the 6 races
out of all the rounds. But again, it's my take on it from looking at it from my perspective. If I'm looking at it logically, I'm going to think, right, my tyres are way too low. It would really take me 2 or 3 laps, maybe even 4, to actually do anything. I hope that's not on the screen, by the way, but my controller keeps disconnecting itself. I hope that didn't come up on the main screen. Hopefully it doesn't.
Shouldn't do.
That's okay, that's good. I don't know why it does it, but it does keep doing it, so I'll just have to press a button every now and again. But no, I look at it and I think that's really it's an art form. Me personally, I would have thought I'd probably go out with all my tyres at like 27.5 or 28 to begin with, and just go out there because they're going to sort of go lower before they get higher. And that would be my only hope that I'd get something going. I
think the way that I would do it is I would set my normal pressures, but I would take it easy. I would know that my pressures aren't going to be up to where they should be. And just make sure that I'm braking a little bit earlier, kind of trailing off a little bit more speed than you normally would want to take.
Yeah.
You might end up being. Jazzman is almost a second. Well, he's almost a second off of his pace that you put in.
47.7, wasn't it? So yeah, 3/4, like 0.8 of a second, near enough.
Yep. So
off what he did earlier.
So he's played it as a game.
Seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Played that game where he's kind of let off. He's not giving it all the beans, but he's doing enough to know he's putting in a good lap.
Yeah, and again, his strategy obviously works, irrespective of what car you're in and what benefits a certain car might have, etc., against others. Generally speaking, the bop in this game, it was a bit mad when it first came out, if I'm honest.
Yep.
and they certainly messed around with them all a couple of times since then, but I've not really looked at like the leaderboards. The PC leaderboards used to be the giveaway, but obviously now that they're on a different build to us, it's not really much good as a marker anymore, unfortunately. But no, Andy 6th, which is where he was in practice, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, it's around that. Yeah, around that. Quiz. Yeah, I expect John Jig to push on and get a little bit further up the field. I think he has got the pace.
And obviously, like you said, with Ryan, those two really have. Ryan's given himself an awful lot to do. Not that he can't do it.
I mean, it's playing into the hand of Iron Saber. This would be exactly what Iron Saber would want. Yeah. Ryan Ruby to be stuck at the back. However, we do know, here at Monza, turn 1, lap 1.
Yeah, I know.
Can be a bit of a mess.
To be honest, I'd rather. You wonder whether Ryan's done it that way.
To try and stay out of trouble. Yeah.
Yeah, I do it. I do it all the time because whenever, and it's not often these days, let's face it, but if ever I get anywhere near the front, I just know I'm going to get ploughed. It's just going to happen. Or it doesn't even matter if it's not to do with me. A car will bounce off the fence backwards, sideways with a bit of extra dip on it, and it'll hit me. It's just the way it goes. But
hopefully,
I'm see what my quiz does.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the guys they've been racing together. Apart from because they've all been racing together for quite some time now. Hopefully they will show that little bit of respect, understand turn one. They've been told about it all
Yeah,
kind of
all season long, pretty much.
you know. And the last couple of races that we have actually got away cleanly, so I hope tonight again that will be the same.
That's all you want. You can't win it. Oh, we've lost
John,
somebody.
no, we haven't lost somebody. John Jig's not readied up. He's gone into the pits.
Oh, he's in the pits. Oh, John,
So he's
going
to have to wait for everyone to come out. Maybe he didn't fancy it. Maybe he thought, oh, do you know what?
Yeah, he might have heard us. but in truth, I mean, I know it comes up and says 30 seconds, but it isn't 30 seconds. It's about 10 seconds after everybody passes it physically lets you go, so it's not the end of the world. It's just your tyres are freezing.
Yeah. Yeah, so because it's a long lap anyway, for the guys to do their out lap.
Yeah, God, yeah.
So he's now
just minutes, is it?
So he's going to be sitting there waiting. So yeah, his tyres are definitely going to be cold. Not what he would have wanted as well, because being that he would be in the battle with Iron Saber to try and get the final podium of the championship.
He's the big winner at this point in time, because he's got John last, Brian 14th. You know, his two main protagonists, shall we say, are pretty much out of the reckoning at the moment.
Yes.
So never say never.
Anything can happen though. In the next 60 minutes, we've got strategies will come into it. You know, again, the guys have been racing this now. This is the sixth race they've done it where there's no pit window. There's a mandatory pit stop, but there's no requirements in the pit window.
Yeah, and I like that. I've always run it that way. I think that's much better. I think, again, you might disagree with me here, but I'll ask you what your thought is. But my perspective is, if it's less than a 90-minute race, I've no interest in changing tyres, I've no interest in fuel. I will go out with race fuel, my one set of tyres will last me 90 minutes.
Yeah, well,
the last quarter of an hour is a bit dodgy, but in an hour, you don't.
Well, I'm currently racing with AOR on the PC League. And we did a race last night at Zandvoort. Now the temperatures,
it's a bit heavy though, isn't it?
Yeah, and the track was 42 degrees. So
that's my toughest track because it's tight.
It's tight. It's twisty. The left side tyres were pretty much gone. And I still had 40 minutes left. I had 40 minutes left of the race. So it's a mandatory tyre change that they require. So I had to come in and I had to try and do 40 minutes. I mean, personally, I think I would always try to get away with. There was no mandatory tyre change to try and get away with it. You know, go easy when the first 10-15 minutes with the tyres.
Try and hope that they can last out. Oops, yep. I think Andy's just hit. Was that Andy who's just been?
I think it was.
He's got a habit of that. Stop weaving. I don't weave. I just ride my brakes.
Same as me.
I ride my brakes. I won't weave. Cause
weaving does nothing for it.
No, it just ride your brakes. Oh no.
He said he's still weaving.
Never learn, man. Watch this later. Learn. But no, it's like I say. I love this game. I love racing, and I'll do it until the day that I can't physically do it anymore. I hope that day's a long way off. But you know, when I can't do it, then you know, at the end of the day, there's all sorts of things we can do here. Even in 10 years' time, when I'm an old git, an even older git than I am, then you know, if that means I do more commentary, I'll still be involved. Whatever.
Yep.
You know, that's me. I'll do this stuff until I don't breathe anymore. Anyway, meanwhile, back in Gotham City.
Yeah, we're almost ready to go live. Coming around the final corner. So it's the final race of the season. Jazzman currently sitting in first place. Ryan Ruby's second, who's down in 13th place. Iron Saber's in fourth, who's currently sitting second tonight. John Jig. Yeah, John Jig didn't ready up in time, sitting fourth. And he's starting from the back. Oh, and Pete Bibbs picks up a drive through.
Oh, for being in front of Guitar Rich, was it? Was he out?
I think so, jumping the start, but we've got Jazzman coming down. He's got away okay, but Iron Saber is alongside.
This is why I hate it here. It's because they're going to have to give each other some space.
And everybody looks like little bits of tapping.
Yeah, was that? I can see who it is, but I can't.
Ryan Ruby was caught up a little bit in that. Oh, and there's a bit more
Is it
afters.
Lazy Camel? Is it the Lazy Camel?
Lazy Camel, I think Tourday as well, yeah. But overall, actually, not a bad start to where it could have been.
No, it could have been much more difficult. So, right. So, I love it at the start of this race. The graphics confuse the hell out of you. At the beginning, they're horrible.
So just jumping on board Iron Saber and go and have a look. So Jazzman is pulling away. Reco Vantage is on the back of McQueen, yeah, and on the back of McQueen, and McQueen is really putting the pressure on Iron Saber as well.
Like I say, it's going to be, it's because of the time. I know it's the time element in the race. The tyres, I mean, tyres are always important, of course they are, but I think more so when you're into night races, if people haven't done the practice, it'll show. More so, because the drop off in the tyre pressures can be quite brutal. And
yeah, especially as this is ×4. It's a ×4 server, so
it's a 4-hour race.
So it started at 8. So yeah, finishing at 11 o'clock then.
What are we?
12 o'clock. 12 o'clock. Yeah, midnight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Archie's just jumped into pits, so I don't know if he picks up any damage or if he's just getting his mandatory pit stop out of the way. Pete Bibb looks like he's coming in. Yeah, he's coming in to complete his drive through.
He's going to do his drive through, isn't he?
Yeah. So how's John?
Because that's going to cost him.
John Jig is still quite a way off. Just looking at the position changes, so if anything actually happened, Torday's gone really deep into the first chicane. So Ryan Ruby's actually got himself up to 9th place after all that, and he's closing up on Guitar Rich in front of him.
Yeah, he's got what, half second? He's literally gonna. In this game, I always find you need to be like under 0.5 to kind of get any. Oh, Reco just lost a little bit there. You need to get very, very close. Some games really over exaggerate the drag, and this game actually I think gets it right, because you've got to be quite close in before you're going to get any benefit off the car in front.
Yep.
Of any slipstream, whereas certain other games that shall remain unnamed basically make it like you've got a slingshot, which is a bit bonkers. But this one does get it right. But get inside half a second, it's like Andy now.
I was about to say Andy. Yeah, Andy looking like he was wanting to make a move there on Reco Vantage. So Andy's looking quite racy as well now. He's saying before we came on air that he felt in the practice session he couldn't find his pace, but it certainly looks like he's on it at the moment.
Yeah, I just always think sometimes that he might have jumped on, he just might not have been in the zone at that point in time. There's so many variables, aren't there? Let's be fair. I think he's in it now.
Yeah, he thought better of it sending it up the inside though, coming into the first chicane.
I'd rather follow somebody for 5 laps until I get a really, really good chance of getting past and take a risk and then blow it for the next 10 laps. That's my take.
I think it all depends how much they're slowing you down.
Yeah, and if you know the person, because normally what I would do is I'd follow that person for a couple of laps if I haven't got the exact pace.
Reco Vantage just made a mistake going into the second chicane, and he's taken full advantage. And so he's going to look to push on. Yeah, he's going to look to push on and see if he can catch up with McQuiz, who's actually still battling Iron Saber. So Iron Saber keeping him behind, but that's just helping Jazzman because he's now pulled out 3.3 second gap. Ryan Ruby is closing up on the back of Windsor, so he's under a second, and Windsor's all over the back of Grey Wolf as well. Yeah, so
fair play to him as well. He's done really well. If I give him a shout out, to be fair. Because earlier on, let's go back, a couple of weeks or whatever, his SA rating was nowhere near enough to get into the server and be able to race. He's gone out there, he's put the work in to get his SA over the 70 and jump in. So, in all fairness to him, he's jumped in and been able to be pretty competitive at times.
Yeah, definitely.
That's quite good from him.
Definitely. It's just looking at whether one of them's going to make the move. I've just jumped on board, so we've got a cockpit view of Ryan Ruby. So he's literally all over the back of Windsor, 0.2 seconds behind. So is he going to make a move down, coming down into the first chicane? He's flashing his lights. He's letting him know he's pulled into he's taken the inside line. Is he going to be able to make the stick? Don't go too deep here, Ryan. Hit that apex. Yeah.
Again, if he can get his...
onto the sausage. Onto the sausage. Good play by Windsor there, allowing him enough room there.
Yeah, it's the right way to do it, isn't it? Let's be fair. If his front wheels are level with your rear wheels, you've got to give him room. Simple as. He's got enough significant overlap there to be allowed. But some people wonder about what that is. They think you can just move across. Well, no. If you're going to cut somebody off, if in doubt, don't do it.
Yep. And Ryan Ruby, he's on a charge because he's now caught up right onto the back of Grey Wall. And he's...
I'd expect him to get... Oh! Is that Andy? It was. Andy just had a wobble. I just saw something there.
Oh yeah, and so Andy's dropping down. Yeah, he's down to 5th. So Reco Vantage takes the position again.
Yeah, I think he had a wobble on the curb. I don't quote me on that, but I just saw something at the corner of my eye, so I've got a slightly different angle to what you were at the moment. I just saw that. So hopefully he didn't get any damage. He's still in 5th. He's still there. Again, Ryan Ruby now is kind of pushing it, and again Windsor. Again, somebody else is doing really, really well, to be fair. But at the moment, Jazzy's...
Windsor looks like he's drops it, actually, because he's now down in 9th, so he's gone behind Lazy Camel.
Right. Still showing 8th on mine. That's why. Mine's a bit slow, but it'll probably pick up in a moment.
Right, so let's jump on board again with Ryan and see if he's going to do the same thing again for Grey Wall. Is he going to take that inside line?
He's certainly got the pace, there's no two ways about that. He's definitely got the pace.
He's too far back for that one. Yeah, thinks better of it. Tucks back in. Oh, but he's taken him. Grey Wolf, I think, was a little bit hesitant, and actually Ryan's made that move. So Ryan's actually moved up into 6th place.
Yeah, I'm just seeing it. I'm watching it on the stream on my PC, so I've got that. Apart from what I've got on my main screen, I've also got sort of like the action replay of what you're describing a few seconds later. I can kind of have another look at it, just so we can see. Yeah, I think basically might have bottled it a bit under pressure. Not being horrible, but it does play into your mind, doesn't it? If you got somebody right up your gearbox, for want of better wording.
Yep, no, definitely does. But also as well, I think personally, myself, get your elbows out. Make Ryan work for that position. Would be what I would look to do. But
I agree.
But just under 10 minutes into the race, Jazzman's got a healthy lead out front. He's 6.4 seconds in front. Actually, and we've missed that. McQuiz has actually moved up into second place.
Got past
Iron Saber was second, so he must have made a mistake because he's now dropped down to 4th. So Reco Vantage is actually now up into 3rd, taking the final podium spot.
And he's going to have Andy chasing him down if Andy can get it together. Look at Ryan Ruby. Look at Ryan, where he is now.
So he's right on. He's right on the back of Andy. Ryan Ruby is.
And then, so between him and Iron Saber's probably what, 4 or 5 seconds?
Yes. Well, it's 5.5 for Andy to Iron Saber. So yeah, 6 seconds.
Yeah. So
he's a man on a mission tonight, definitely.
Mate, John's not quite having it the same. He might have had damage from that early thing or whatever happened there. I'm not sure, but he's intense, so he's still got a fair bit of work to do to try and get up into that lot. But
it's a little bit, it's a little bit spread out. So this is the closest battle, is Andy and Ryan. Now I know Andy would not want to give up this position, and it won't be as easy as Ryan looks to go the inside, and he goes completely misses the chicane, misses the braking point there. He goes completely off.
Like that.
Completely. Good job, Andy actually saw that.
I'm just getting the replay of that a few seconds back off you. For me, he was far too far back. Oh, yeah. I just think he probably missed where they were. He might well have missed where they were on the track there. He's just flashing now. He's probably flashing to almost say sorry, I think.
Yeah, I definitely think that was a flash to say sorry. I mean, as I say, I think it was a good job Andy had his eyes in his mirrors, because if it had turned, yeah, absolutely.
He would have been T-boned. He'd have been properly T-boned. Yeah, that would not have been good. But glad it came out the way it did.
It did, yeah. But
now 8-9 seconds.
Andy's starting to pull away a little bit now from Ryan. Now I think Ryan might have, he's made up some good positions. Iron Saber's only two positions in front, so he doesn't need to make any more positions up at all to actually.
Doesn't need to ram it.
No, to get the second place in the championship.
Probably personal pride that would make you want to maybe beat that person on the track today, but as you quite rightly say, you can just cruise home now from where he is. Really?
Yeah, definitely. And that's actually Ryan's errors have actually allowed Grey Wolf to get back into a battle with him. As we see, so yeah, Ryan's now fallen behind 2.5 of Andy, and Grey Wolf is now 0.8 of seconds behind Ryan Ruby. So just needs to calm down a little bit, kind of get his head together. As I say that, he's just pulled back half a second on Andy.
Yeah, they just changed it. They just, as you said it. It's always going to be the way. The minute you say something, it's just going to totally make you look a complete nerd. But that's part of the course, man. Don't worry about it.
It certainly is. And I tell you what, Ryan needs to be careful with Grey Wolf, because Grey Wolf did looking racy. He looks like he's up for this.
Yeah,
he's putting his nose in. Just letting Ryan know that he's there.
Like I say, in terms of improved a short space of time of getting his essay up to a certain level to be able to race, I actually think he's done really, really well.
Yeah, he just goes completely wide.
Yeah, that's just
so that
makes us look stupid again.
Yeah, so commentator's curse, that is.
Always the way.
But everyone is now a little bit spread out, so everyone seems to have found their kind of rhythm. So you got Jazzman, who is almost 10 seconds in front of McQuiz. In second place. Recco Vantage then 3.3 off, and he's come into the pits. Now I wonder if that's to repair any damage he's got, because I did look at his car, and he looked like he had a little bit of damage. So I wonder if he's going to repair damage, because it might be compromising his pace.
Could he have been scraped then, possibly, as Ryan was coming in at him?
I think no. I think he
might have been scraped.
I think he might have picked up a bit of damage, kind of in the incident that you saw before.
Yeah, where he did actually sort of go wide. It looked like he'd hit the barrier, but I couldn't swear on it. Even on the replay bit, I couldn't swear on it. But it looked like something had gone, because he dropped off just after it, didn't he? So, in all fairness, I think Iron Saber just went a bit wide there and all, coming round. Was that one of the Lesmos?
Yes, it was the final, second one. But yeah, so Iron Saber's in fourth place, so he's 4.2 off of Recco Advantage. Ryan Ruby's quite way back now, 12 seconds off of Iron Saber. He's pulled a gap from Grey Wolf. We saw Grey Wolf go wide, and Grey Wolf hasn't been able to. And Andy's picked up a start and go.
Stop go! He's done his usual thing, flying to the pits too bloody fast. What are you doing, man? Learn. Sorry, I shouldn't laugh at you, mate, but...
Andy. Well, he said he wanted this season to be his learning season, so get all these sort of errors out of the way.
As long as you don't repeat them, that's mistakes are great, but if you keep repeating them, they ain't.
Yeah, no, definitely. So currently sitting 7th is Lazy Camel. He's 3.5 seconds off of Grey Wolf. Windsor is an 8th. 2.3.
Yeah,
John Jigg's got himself up to 9th. 5 seconds off of Duke Martin. Off of Windsor. Duke Martin's a little farther behind, 20 seconds off of the pace. I think that was
a big gap there, isn't there?
Yeah, I think that's potentially to do with I think he was involved in some of the skirmishes on the first corner.
Yeah. I think it was collateral damage, I think.
Yes, and then you've got Torde, who's in 11th. He's just under 2 seconds off of Duke Martin. Again, pretty much the same distance back. You've got Pete Bibb in 12th. Now Archie's the first one to have completed his pit stop. He's currently sitting 13th, so it'd be interesting to see where he comes out.
He's probably de facto, sort of 6 or 7 maybe, rough estimate.
Yeah, potentially.
7, 10, 31. I'm trying to think how long a pit stop would be here, because it's not a huge pit lane, but it's certainly going to cost you 30 odd seconds maybe.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be in front. I don't think it'd be in front of Ryan. I think potentially he'd probably jump Grey Wolf. I think on this potentially.
Yeah, I was thinking 6 or 7 as a rough estimate. In my brain a little bit. We'll find out soon enough, I suppose. What his de facto position is.
Yep. So then we've got Torday who's just come into the pits to complete his pit stop, and he's now serving his stop go, which is going to be so painful sitting there for 30 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, considering where he was, he's going to look at that and think, a couple of mistakes. The one that I saw, add that to it, and he's just basically shafted himself at the words I'm going to use. I'm not going to use anything stronger than that, but he's basically ruined his own race. But again, like you said earlier and alluded to, it's a learning curve.
Absolutely.
For a guy that I met years ago in project cars, racing all the time, he's not really done much in this because he's been in here all the time, hasn't he, to be fair?
Yep. Yeah, so he generally commentates, doesn't he? So
it just gives him, like I say, going along. Hopefully we'll see the guy driving a bit more, especially if we get more ACC up and running. I'll do some of the commentary, obviously, possibly yourself, but so he can race a bit more on that, and we can, hey, everybody likes racing, don't they?
Absolutely.
That's what we're here for.
Absolutely. And he comes out just behind Nielsen. So you last week you were saying about the guy with all the different letters and numbers. That's Nielsen.
Ah, right. Yeah. I what did I call him? I called him what was it? PlayStation voucher code.
Yeah, Wi-Fi code would work as well. Yeah, Wi-Fi code would work as well. But yeah, so Andy's completely stopped go. He's come out, so he's currently sitting last. However, he has completed his pit stop.
What's Recco? You probably haven't seen what I've just seen.
No.
You might. Recco just basically went completely off track. I don't know whether that was coming round the Parabolica. I'm not sure where or round Lesmos. One of the Lesmos. It's one of the Lesmos.
So that's got Iron Saber's moved up into. So Iron Saber's moved up into third place then.
Yeah, I just saw that. He went absolutely totally off track. I don't know whether he didn't see the corner. I'm really not sure what happened there. That was kind of weird. It might be visibility, because I know even with the endurance lights on, visibility's crap. It's awful in this game. Oh, there was a car there that was just stopped. I don't know whether it was just a bit of lag on my side looking on the stream on the PC. It just showed a car that had stopped for a second there, which was a bit weird. I didn't know whether it was Andy. I'm not sure.
No, I was just had a quick look at Andy. He's still going round.
Yeah, no, that was weird. I don't know whether it was a bit of lag. A car just stopped there, then it disappeared. So I'm not sure.
Really still got everyone in. But just looking at the split time, so Pete Bibb is actually starting to close that gap on Duke Martin a little bit. So he's now got that down to 1.8. So that was sitting around 2 seconds last time we checked a few laps ago. So he's slowly bringing that down. 40 minutes gone, so he's got plenty of time to be able to start making up a couple more positions potentially. I've just noticed as well, so I think Ryan might potentially have taken our advice, because it looks like he is starting to ease off a little bit.
It off, innit?
That time is coming up, so that he doesn't need to do any more than what he's doing.
And he's keeping the gap between him and Grey Wolf around the 5.5.
Yeah,
that's pretty much. I think Grey Wolf caught up a bit. I think he was 6 and a bit before, wasn't he? But nothing too much. Lazy Camel keeping his gap at 2.2 to Grey Wolf. I'd expect him to possibly catch up a little bit. Windsor, John Jig. I'd expect John to. I think those three, Lazy Camel, Windsor and John Jig, those three might end up having a little bit of a battle coming in. But Grey Wolf is dropping off of Ryan a bit, 6.5 now. Lazy Camel's 1.3 behind him. Obviously looking at the front boys, barring a disaster, Jazz is 13.5. Wiz has got nearly 7 on Iron Saber, but Recco Vantage is only 1.4 off Iron Saber, so the battle for the podium I think is going to come in.
Yep.
Ryan at the moment is saying +1 lap, so he's a few
15,
seconds down.
yeah, 15 seconds.
He's settled for it, and I think that's fair, because he wouldn't be that far behind if he was pushing. No way, but it's not worth his while.
No.
But he's pushing away from Grey Wolf.
And
Lazy
yeah, so Lazy Camel, yeah, as I say, is actually caught up, so just over a second. Oh, and we just see Grey Wolf go straight on at the chicane.
Oh, or was that lag?
No, that's straight on.
Oh.
So that's going to cost him.
Because he's had a bloody good race. He's had a good race. Fair play. Wherever he finishes, I still think he's had a good race. To be fair, I don't think he'll be unhappy with how he's performed. I think he's had a really good race.
Yeah, definitely. I think to be battling kind of at the top end, the sharp end of the midfield. You got to be happy with that.
Yeah, definitely. Camel's under a second now. He's 0.8. He's going to be catching him. Recco and Iron Saber.
Yeah, so I want to keep an eye on Grey Wolf and Pete Bibb is what I want to keep an eye on. Because Pete Bibb has got the pace over Duke Martin, so I think these are going to be the closest battles. Iron Saber's starting to pull a gap, I think, on Recco Vantage now as well.
Yeah, it's gone out a bit now, hasn't it, to 1.6. It came down and now it's gone out again. But Iron Saber, I've just seen a car going on my picture.
He did.
He crashed at the Parabolica.
He did, and he's straight into the pits.
Oh man! Oh, now
so,
what's that gonna throw up? Or will it? That's the question. Not sure what that's gonna do. Interesting.
Right, so Grey Wolf looks like he's going defensive, coming down the start finish, going into the chicane.
I think Lazy Camel might look at him in the next lap.
Yeah, I think he's too far back at the moment to look to make a move there.
If you can get between, he's on my screen, I've got the 0.648, that might equate to what you've got. So if you can gain on him another 2 tenths, 3 tenths, and get literally right on the back of him, he might get the draft. He might get enough of the slipstream to be able to almost DRS him.
Yes, yeah, potentially. I think, like you say, I think he's just got to keep steady and keep close. I think that's the thing with Monza. Although he looks like he's going to try and make a move coming up into the first Lesbo. Oh, that was tight.
So I wouldn't there. I just think it's not a really good overtaking place unless I like the straight after the second
someone behind spun it. Who was that?
I might get that in a minute. I might get. Oh, is that Andy? No, was it a green car?
It looked like it, yeah.
Oh, that's close coming out of the second Lesbos. I'm seeing the dark. It's not just the lights on the cars that are rubbish in the dark. It doesn't really help us in here, does it?
But we've just missed it. I think Pete Bibb has actually just taken Duke Martin as well.
Yeah.
But Laser Camel was definitely a lot closer this time.
Yeah,
just needs to get a good
187 by me. He's literally
good exit coming out of here is what he needs. So this is where I'd look to make the move. Let's say, he comes into the pits. So maybe he didn't. Maybe he felt that he can do an undercut on Grey Wolf.
Yeah, true. Yeah, when he's that close, it's not gonna. The thing is, again, I don't know. Different people might not know certain things, but if you manually go into the pits and bring the menu up and manually switch off your engine before you actually get to your garage, then they will literally start working on it quicker. And again, if you manually switch your engine on, as soon as they've dropped you get away about a second or so quicker.
Yeah.
And it does make a difference. It makes
just actually, just having a look, so Archie is very close. I don't think it's 0.25 or 0.025, but he's right on the back of
Iron Saber, is it?
Yeah, that's saying 2 seconds, but I thought that was a lot closer than that. Yeah.
Yeah, it did say 0.025. I saw it as you were saying it. It was up on my screen saying that too.
And they're in the same chicane. They're in the same chicane, so I don't understand.
You can't be 2 seconds away from somebody like that. You'd be 100 yards down the track. That makes no sense.
What's in? Oh, I was going to say, what's interesting is Lazy Camel was further behind. It was showing that he was in front of them. So Iron Saber's come out on top in terms of completing his pit stops.
Yeah,
and being in front of Archie, but Archie, I think, as I said, we said earlier, didn't we, where he'd come out, and I think he's going to be around 5th or 6th, as McQuiz actually comes into the pits. So McQuiz is in the pits.
No, it's basically your front 9, apart from McQuiz, obviously, who just haven't pitted yet. So it'd be interesting to see how this pans out. I think Jazzman will probably pit last lap or next to last lap or something like that.
I think he's normally around the 30 minutes. I think he does about. He tries to split it, half and half.
Does he? I wondered if he might wait, see how long a pit stop actually lasts for, and then wait until he's got a gap big enough so he comes out first, whether Reco Vantage pits or not. You know, if a pit stops, I don't know, let's say it's 35 seconds. I mean, we could probably work it out when somebody goes in, but if it's 35 seconds, he'll wait until he's got a gap of, you know, north of 35 seconds, and then go, right, I can pit, I know I'm going to come out in first still. I don't know whether that's his thing. So he's not far off getting a number like that under the board. He'd need a few more laps, obviously, but probably not far off. But then you're going to encounter traffic at this point.
I think he'll probably come out clean, actually. I think he'll come out in clean air.
Because what are we, 32 minutes? Obviously, what I'm watching on the stream there is probably about 10 seconds behind real life. I've got 32.43 right there, so you've probably got about 32.30, I would imagine. That's why I like having it on there, though, is I've got 2 different screens showing 2 different things at 2 different times, which is kind of a bit weird, but it's helpful if we have an incident. Yeah,
it's like a replay.
It is, and that's what I've always used. They always come up very handy. But that's okay, it is all. I've just always used it. I always think it's good, because if you see something in the background and you're not so sure about it, then at least you can sort of, you're expecting it to happen the second time around, which is always good.
And I've just realised as well, we've been ignoring the chat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Has anyone been? Oh yeah, we got plenty in there.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, so we got Sergey who used to race with us. Actually, was an admin coordinator with us. I'm just going to switch though to Iron Saber and Archie, because it's saying on my screen that Archie is in front, and they're actually side by side, coming down into the final corner. Oh, Archie!
Parabolic already.
Yeah, Archie allowed him. Yeah, Archie gave him the space. Looks to do the undercut, so he's going to be able to potentially take the inside coming down to the first chicane.
It's like looking for a switchback, and it's one of them where, in a perfect world, you put the other guy in front under pressure to make him think that you're going to do it. I'm actually seeing that now, and it's almost like testing somebody's bottle. It's a game of chicken to a certain extent, and you're testing them, and if it comes out well, they might make a slight mistake, and that might make the next corner yours. It's all a bit of, it's like a game of 3-card brag in a way, isn't it? Bluff and double bluff.
Yeah, it's a good move actually though, by Iron Saber. Itself, he held it well, and then saw off the challenge coming down into the first chicane.
He held it well.
Yeah, he did. But yeah, so going back to the chat, so Sergey, yeah, he used to be an admin with us, coordinator, so it's good to see him on chat. And then we've got... So then we've got I was going to say...
Yeah. Have you got a doppelganger?
I was just saying hello to an old friend. And then we've got Andre saying, let's go. Paul Mitchell, hi, no stream working, black and white screen, that's better, good, I'm pleased to see. Jazzman P1, good start for me. running fuel stint. Running fuel stint fuel. Okay.
I don't think that's quite what he meant.
No,
but
no.
I think he meant full stint fuel.
Yes, yeah, I think
That's
so as
what
well.
I think he meant. It's the only thing I can work out that makes sense.
Okay, so Ryan's in the pits, and we have got Iron Saber and Archie. Is Archie still behind?
For the
Yes,
moment.
yeah, both coming down the start finish. Ryan's just starting to move now, so he's not going to be a million miles off of them. Chris, sorry, then you've got JR saying, let's go, Ryan. A real man's voice in all the chatter. In all that chatter.
and then Andy Podium, I think that could be a big ask, although he has worked his way up to 13th.
He did ask where Ryan is back there. Ryan was back there because he failed to put in a qualifying lap, like he normally does. It's Chris Pissick. Let's go, Ryan.
That's another name I know from back in the day.
FFS Andy from JR, and then Ryan. Let's go, Tour Day. It's a lot of support. So Chris and JR and myself are part of Run DJC, a team called Run DJC, which also includes Ryan, Ruby and Tour Day as well. So and Lightblade, who you know.
I don't know where you got that name from.
Well, Run DJC.
Not quite DMC, of course, but no. Yeah, I did enjoy. What was it in one group that I've seen? There was a. Oh, what did it say now? Silence of the Lambos is the name of the team, which I thought was class. I've seen a few, but that was good. That was one that I did really like. I thought, yeah, that was kind of cool. Somebody thought well on that one.
Sorry to interrupt there. Andy must have had to pick up some damage because he's coming back into the pits.
Yeah, I'm trying to look and see if I see anything. If I get anything on there, because where is he there? No, he's already dropped back at that point. So he's probably just come off again. He's probably trying to push because he's got nothing to lose, has he? Without being disrespectful, he hasn't.
No.
It's all a learning curve for him, which sounds a bit weird, really, saying that to him. I'm just seeing him coming into the pits, I think. Or was that just coming out? No, just coming in. But it is. Again, learning curve. Grey Wolf's in the pits.
Yeah, unfortunately for Andy, because he made up a couple of places as well. So we've got. Let's run through the order again. So we've got Jazzman still out in front. He's yet to pit, with John Jig sitting in second place for now, but he's yet to pit as well. I would fully expect McQuiz to be in second place, who's currently sitting first.
As you were, won't it? It'd be as you were, won't it? McQuiz, Recco
Vantage, because we saw Iron Saber hit the wall just before coming in, so he's sitting full. Pete Bibb up in fifth, but again yet to pit, with Duke Martin close.
So that'll probably be Archie's, won't it? Archie will probably end up in fifth. If you take those two, if you take Pete Bibb and Duke out of it, then.
And John Jig as well, who's just come into the pits now. Iron Saber's just got past Duke Martin. Duke Martin's in seventh. Archie's in eighth, who has completed the pit. Windsor is in ninth, who's completed the pit. Ryan down in 10th. Surprised to see him that far down. I know there's a couple of guys up at the top that needs to complete their pits, but
yeah, but you'd have thought he'd be like 7, 6, there or thereabouts, rather than 10. But
yeah, I expected him to actually be potentially in front of Windsor. So, but then you got Torday 12th, Nielsen 13th, Guitar Rich is in 14th, and he's 15th. He's just getting going, and then someone has just.
Not Guitar Rich, we just lost. Not Great Wolf. No.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I wonder if he's had a disconnect, because that has happened to him once or twice. He's not a quitter. That much I will say. He isn't. It's not normally his ballpark. So he might have. Yeah, because he's in the pits, and then unless he's got absolute destruction, killed himself in inverted commas. That's not like him. I'll see if I pick something up on Discord before the end of the race.
So you've got Ryan Ruby who's at it again with the flashing of the light, so he's catching up to the back of Windsor and letting his presence known. So he's just over half a second behind. So all over the back of him. So Archie's
Andy
caught up
binned
with.
Andy binned it coming out of a scar. He said.
How did he?
He said something else about, but I won't repeat that bit.
As you can see, Ryan really pushing it and going really wide again.
Yeah, there's a couple. I think as people try and push, and the tyres, if they're not fully au fait with, they haven't done the practice over the full race distance, or sort of done it half distance times 8 or something like that, to get the tyres.
Oh, sorry, just Ryan just made a move, making a move. Oh. In the S's, yeah, he's completed that.
Oh yeah, he's in front of Windsor. I can see that now.
Yeah, so that's a good move.
Duke.
Yeah, when Duke completes his pit stop, so that would move him up to 7th.
Well, which just let him pass. No, he's not racing with him, is he? Now, oh, Record Vantage has just gone straight through the chicane. He's gone straight through the first chicane that I've seen. I've just seen him go right through it.
Oh yeah, we didn't actually catch that on the stream.
Yeah, I've just seen him go absolutely smash right the way through the first chicane. So that was a bit weird. Penalty for that.
The game should normally call it. Yeah. I'd say I didn't catch it on the stream. But Nielsen is actually caught up onto the back of Tourday. So it's the battle of the Bentleys.
Bob. Oh no, BOTB. We know that. No, I'm not giving them any free advertising. You've got to give me a GTR for me to advertise. Oh man. But yeah, he definitely went right the way through. I saw all the red and white blocks just go everywhere. I just sort of, that was really weird. He's 4.835 seconds off the quiz that I see. I'll try and save. I don't know if I can. Yeah, it's my gameplay, isn't it? I should be able to save that. It's around the 19 lap mark. I'll try and remember that for after.
You can do view replay.
Will it still let me do that? Oh,
yeah.
It's not going to affect the screen, is it? Have a look. I've got to see that. That's really weird.
It's just why you're seeing if you can view that. So we're still on board with Nielsen's closest battle actually out on track at the moment. So he's hassling in the back of Torday. Both in the Bentley. So not going to be any real advantage actually on straight line speed. So it's going to be about making the most out of the corner entry and exits. If Nielsen wants to.
I never look at straight line speed. I always think that a track is corners connected by straights. I emphasise the corner more. I'd rather be good in the corners than straight line speed, because I always think if I'm good in the corners, my exit speed will be greater than yours. So therefore, I'm accelerating from a higher base. So even if my straight line speed is less, I'm still starting from a higher base than the guy with the straight line speed who's not so quick out the corner. Does that make sense?
Yep. it certainly does. But unfortunately, unfortunately, I think it's Jazzman. Yeah, Jazzman has come in between Nielsen and Torday. So
it's going to lose him a bit of.
Yeah, so Nielsen
loses more.
Yeah, Nielsen backed off, and then Torday's just backed off, and then as we were, Nielsen all over the back of Torday.
It's the right way to do it. I hate it if it ruins. I mean, a battle's a battle, and a lap car's a lap car. I get it, but if it's played properly between the two protagonists, then nobody seeks to gain an unfair advantage from it. And I like
Torday goes a little bit wide. Nielsen needs to put the power down. This is going to be a drag race down to the chicane. He's a little bit behind. I think Torday's in front, but is Nielsen going to go for it? Yes, he is. He late brakes, and Torday gives him the room, backs out of that.
Yeah, It's probably a sensible choice.
Yeah.
Where's Recco? That's alright, I'm still trying to search for my thingamy while you do that, but I'm pretty sure of what I saw. Unless it was some really... I think I've just got it now. Yes, he does. Absolutely does. Yeah, that's an absolute. I've definitely got that. I want to see how much time it makes from doing it now.
While you're doing that, so I'm on board, or we're viewing Archie. So Archie's actually caught up to the back of John Jig. So I don't know if John Jig made a mistake or not. So this is a battle for 5th place. The longer that these two,
right through it.
The longer these two battle though, the more that's going to allow Ryan to catch up. So he's only 3 seconds behind. Actually, I think Ryan is actually a little bit closer than 3 seconds. Because I think he's right on the back of Archie. So we've actually got a 3-way battle developing here for 5th place. So Ryan on the back of Archie, Archie on the back of John Jig.
That's why it's weird in the fact that some of the split timings and the relative timings are really, they're not just slightly out, they're freaking way out on. They're terrible. But you can only see...
So Archie's defending the inside line. So Ryan takes the outside and pulls it off. Great move. It's a really good move from Ryan.
I'm just seeing that now. I'm just seeing that because I'm obviously looking at the back.
Yeah, so he hangs it out onto he goes on the outside. He just throws his car round.
That's good. That's good. He's carried that right away.
And as Archie goes straight on through the chicane.
Yeah, he's the second one to do it then.
Yeah.
After Recco. Well, at least Recco made him a path anyway, but he lived up to his name by wrecking it. So. But in fairness, he wasn't full blast going through it, having watched it. So I don't think, to be quite honest, I don't think he's made any effort to gain an advantage by it, because he's looked to weave in between.
Yeah,
so I don't think he's made any...
In all fairness to Recco, I mean, he, as I said, he's raced with us the second season that he's raced with us. He was the champion of the multi-class GT3s.
Yeah, I think he just missed his braking. I think he's just either locked it or done something. I haven't seen any puff of smoke. I think he just buggered it up, to be quite honest with you.
It looks like Ryan's actually on a late charge now, because he's now all over the back of John Jig. So it's pulled a bit of a gap between him and Archie, which has allowed him to go side by side with John Jig. And John Jig allows him through as well. I say allows him through. Ryan has to put himself in these positions to be able to actually make these moves.
Yeah, you've got to sort of, put your foot in, so to speak. And
I know I've raced with John Jig for a good few seasons now. I know he wouldn't want to give up that position easily, but looking at his car, I think he's carrying a bit of damage actually. Just looking at the front of his car. Yeah, straight line speed is not going to be there. Yeah, you can see his bonnet flapping.
Shit. Yeah, I've had that a few times, and then it flies off just indiscriminately. Then you can see your engine and everything. It's really nice. Looking out of your cockpit and just seeing nothing. Oh, Recco just caught the curbs at the first chicane then and took a real bounce. He obviously doesn't do what I do with the bumps, because at the rear of the car, I think it's I always forget which one, but it's the third one on the graphic. And I always knock it down from about 50 down to about 10, which means I can ride all the sausage curbs as if they didn't exist. But he obviously doesn't do that, because he just rode it and his rear end bounced around like it was Tigger. So there's a definite... You learn all sorts of different things. Ever since I've done that, I've never cared about sausage curbs, apart from the big yellow one, which is... second to last at Kyalami, which kills everybody if you hit it.
Yeah, and also Laguna Seca's a little bit different as well.
Yeah.
As we've seen, Torday and Guitar Richer battling 13th place. But you've got... Is that Ryan? Yeah, you've got Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan sandwiching in between them. He's going to be desperate to get past. Doesn't need to do it. He goes in front of Torday, so they would be on voice chat. Those two. But that's actually allowed Guitar Rich to actually take that position from Torday.
Jazz has just finished another lap. Again, you can tell, like, he's done 1:49.8 just then. Again, you know, that's nothing to be sniffed at, but that's a lot slower than he would be. Again, Iron Saber 51.2. But the weather conditions, the temp on the track, your tyres, they're all going to play into that massively. That's a big difference, though. When you get cooler, it's really, really not easy. Really,
yeah,
really
no,
absolutely,
and especially the fact that these guys, well, obviously they've been, well, I pretty much imagine most of them wouldn't change tyres. You know, so they've been racing now for over 45 minutes. As you say, the temperatures would definitely be dropping from 8 o'clock to we're approaching midnight in game time now. So
I wish they'd show you. I mean, obviously the racers can see that, but obviously you don't get to see it. I mean, I can see. What can I see? 20, 22.
still saying yes,
22.
it's still saying 22.
Oh, so that's kept. That's kind of kept it static. It's not a bad temp to be running anyway.
Just looking at the at Andy, he looks like he's retired in the pits.
Yeah, I think he's had a guts full, hasn't he?
He may well have done. Jump on and join us on chat if you want, Andy. Come and join us in the commentary box. Let us know what happened.
Like you say, Racky's I'm just having a quick look at the chat now. Obviously, Light Blade going, oi, oi, typical Welshman. Swansea boy, oh. I don't know what I'm saying that for. He's only about 50 miles down the road from me. Believe it or not. But obviously I'm not a Welshman. I'm Wenglish. I think is what they call it. Yeah. That was Andy binning out of Sakari, Scuderia. Paul saying, evening race fans. Good evening to you, mate. Rocky saying, good evening all. If I pronounce that in the right way in which he said it. And then, what else have we got? Oh, we got DD saying evening, and then Raki saying hello. I'm assuming he's racing on PC these days. And then Raki saying, good comms, lads. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Like that.
Yeah.
Flattery gets you everywhere, mate. Allegedly. That's probably because I haven't said that much this time. That's probably why it's good.
Oh, well, I think we've missed it, actually. We've missed... So Ryan Ruby was in front of John Jig, but John Jig is now in front of Ryan. So something's happened there with Ryan. I don't know if he might have binned it a little bit.
Down. Yeah, I've just seen that happen now.
Yeah, he's in 6th place.
Yeah, because I've just seen... I didn't see what happened, but...
No.
Or will I see what happened? Let's have a look there. Yeah, now he's just dropped down there. Oh, that's weird. It didn't really show me what happened, but then I just saw the graphic change, which was a bit bizarre. So I'm not quite sure what happened there, but it's I just saw the graphic alter. So at the moment, what are we, 26 laps in?
91. I think Recco Vantage as well just had a bit of an off.
Like I say, these tyres are going to, for the last 10 minutes now, it's going to be a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, he did have an off because Iron Saber is literally right up the back end of him.
Yeah, 0.7. Yeah, I've just watched him coming around the parabolica there, I think, with Lazy Camel, but Lazy Camel's obviously a lapped car, but so Jazzman did 156.7, Recco 206. Yeah, what did he do? Iron Saber 150, so that's a 16-second gain.
Oh, Ryan's making a move on John Jig, boys.
Yeah, and so is Iron Saber's just made a move on Recco, but Recco's fighting back. Oh,
looking for the switchback, I think.
Welcome to the comms box, Andy.
Hello. Oh, yeah. I mean,
what happened? What happened?
I'll be lying if I say that I'm glad to be here.
You had a good start, a mediocre middle, and a really shite end.
The start was, I was pretty happy with the start, to be honest. I got up into P4. I was keeping up with the Jazzman that was gone and was away, but I was keeping up with the battle for second at least. There's about four of us in the train.
Were you fourth?
Yeah, Recco made a mistake through the De La Roja chicane, so I got up into P4. Was running pretty chill in there for a couple of laps, and then I was actually carrying a bit of damage from the start.
you bounced against the fence.
I was carrying a little bit of damage from the formation lap because on the run up towards Ascari, I was weaving to try and get temps up in the tyres.
We saw you.
I tapped the wall, my right front of my car, my right front bumper tapped the barriers, and I was carrying light damage on the front, so I was actually pretty happy that I was able to keep up with the battle for the podium spots for the first few laps, but eventually it just, trying to overdrive it, kind of got the better of me. I started making a few mistakes.
That's the problem then. You start, if you're in your comfort zone, you get into the groove, you're wrapping out laps at X, Y, Z, whatever they are, and you're kind of comfy, but you're not gaining on the people you want to gain on. So then you start trying to push it. Your tyres are degrading, the car is struggling that bit more, the temps are dropping.
Especially getting ahead of Recco as well, because it gave me the confidence. It's like, come on, I can do this. Because obviously he made the mistake in front of me, and that made me think, oh, if I got ahead of him, I can charge after the others. But
and then you burn
it wasn't happening.
And then Ascari came into your life.
Ascari, oh my god. So yeah, we was recovering positions, dropped to P16, then overtook Nilsson and Guitar Rich, got up into Antorde as well, overtook those three, was in P13, and Ascari just ruined my hopes and dreams. So
sorry, I'm just looking at people's lap times. Ryan Ruby just lapped. I mean, he's a little bit behind now. From fourth, he's quite a fair bit behind, but he just did a 49 something. Recco did like a 50 something, so and I'd say we did a 54, I think.
I got a question, and it's going to be quite embarrassing because I'm supposed to have been the resident commentator here for the past God knows how many seasons. But how do you boys look at lap times? Because I have never worked it out.
So if you click on drive, you can then see see their lap time.
Right. So
you get the relative, don't you? The relative time.
So you can only really do it if you've got like another person. Really.
I jump on them to drive and change the camera angles a little bit. But...
Yeah, you can change it. I mean, I can see it because I was able to change mine because it doesn't affect what is actually being seen on the stream. So once I realised that what I could do wouldn't affect that, then I could faff about with this.
Yeah, you can
and
be
just
the
change
eyes
things.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, and also I've got my PC there with the stream 10 seconds behind. So if anything happens, I can obviously add to, if we see a bit of an accident, I can have a little look at it.
So I've just had a look, because obviously there's not a huge amount going on now in terms of the racing. Everyone's a bit spread out. But Jazzman has just put a lap on John Jig, who's currently sitting sixth place.
Yeah, which
he's also lapping within half a second of his fastest lap, and he seems to be going quicker as well as the fuel's dropping. He seems to be improving through the corners.
I mean,
he might have changed tyres. He might. I know he has done in previous races if he's had a lead big enough. Potentially, but I think you've got to take your hat off to him. He's won this, or winning this race. He's been in the lead since the start. Literally pulled away within the first few corners. To be fair, it's pretty much what he's done all season. He had one bad race for him, which was, I think, Silverstone. Wasn't that the rain?
Yeah, where he finished 7th, I think.
Yeah.
He struggled a little bit with the kind of wet weather that we had.
Yeah.
But other than that,
what we need, we've got to pray that we can have some rain next season. If he races next season, we've got to pray that we've got to pray that it's raining a week to the day before the races. If
you listen to this later, Jared, you're going to be in the shittest car. It's going to rain every week.
Panning the Bentley.
Yeah, you're going to be in a GT4 sunshine. That's what you're going to be in.
I think he'd still give him a go, in the GT4.
And give a Maserati, no traction control, no ABS, freezing cold weather and raining.
Or give him the Porsche Cup. He can drive the Porsche Cup.
Problem is, if you get that really well, you'd be out of sight all over the place. They're monsters if you get it right. Again, I'm just looking at these lap times now. I'm just looking at Iron Saber's 10.8 seconds off the quiz, according to me.
Or no, he's 26 seconds behind him.
Oh, right. That's between him and Recco then, is it? The 11? Am I reading that wrong?
Yes, yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
See, Lazy Camel is actually lapping faster than Recco Advantage, which is quite interesting. Whether he changed tyres.
Maybe he's got damage.
Yeah, look at his car.
The right side of that Porsche. The right side of the Porsche.
And the rear is all. He definitely had enough. So we didn't actually catch it on stream. He definitely had enough because he was quite far in front of Iron Saber, and then all of a sudden Iron Saber was all over the back of him.
Yeah, he made 16 seconds in one lap. I think Recco did like 2:04 and Iron Saber did 1:50 or like. But he's also had a few problems, Recco. I've watched him again. He's done it there now, coming through the second chicane. He's basically hitting all the sausage curbs, which is probably not going to do his tyres the best of luck because he might start losing pressure. Lazy Camel's going to unlock himself.
G Martin's finally coming into the pits with 4 minutes left in the race.
Pretty much on the last lap of the race.
Lastminute.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where is Lazy Camel? So Lazy Camel is coming into the final sector. So
he's going to unlock himself here.
So Duke Martin, he's literally done a stop and go, and he's out. So he's going to keep that position. He's going to keep 10th place. So not a bad strategy from him.
No, I think he's probably waited until, a bit like what I was saying about Jazzman earlier, he might have waited until he's got a big enough gap on the guy behind. This is kind of weird now because we've got Jazzman right on the back of Ryan Ruby. I'm saying right on the back. There's a little bit of a gap, but he's within sort of a few car lengths. He's not far off him.
So that's the first place in the championship coming up against the second place in the championship.
Yeah. There you go. Lazy Camel's just unlocked himself against Ryan Ruby quite easily into the first chicane. Sorry, not Ryan Ruby, Recco Advantage won it, but I think he's just giving it back. No, he went past Ryan and now he's on the back of Recco. Let me get it right. But I reckon Lazy Camel probably changed his tyres. Or, again, if we're talking about damage to one or two.
Yeah, see, the Porsche will struggle with straight line speed anyway. That is the one disadvantage of the Porsche, is the fact that it has got no top end. Lazy Camel will definitely be able to catch him on the straight. So I was not surprised coming down the first chicane that Lazy Camel was actually able to unlap himself. But kind of through the corners is where the Porsche will make up for it, especially over the Ferrari. The Ferrari's not a bad car.
I've never even used the Ferrari yet. It'll probably be the last car I get to use.
It's not my car, my go-to car, to be fair.
I avoid Ferrari in every game. I did it in Project Cars too. I did it in everything because everyone uses it. That's why I don't. I'm just different.
Yeah, and you used the Ferrari, didn't you? You and the Ferrari.
Yeah, I went with the Ferrari because it's generally the best all-round car. It's the easiest car on this game because it kind of works around every track. It's got a mixed bag. It's not too bad down the straights, but it's pretty planted through the corners, and you can set it up quite easily for most circuits.
The trouble that I find, the trouble that I find with the Ferrari is the curves. It just doesn't like curves.
Doesn't ride them at all, does it?
No.
Yeah, you have to have a lot of precision when you're driving with the Ferrari.
What, with the bumps reduced? Will it not do it then?
No, it's like if you go to places like Imola or something like that, I find it horrendous.
It's all right around the tracks with the flat curves. Like last week at Kyalami, barring the second to last curve.
The big yellow.
Last week, it was able to ride most of the curves are quite nice, flat type of hair.
They're kind of painted rather than 3D, aren't they?
Most of them, yeah. Like here at this track, it's a given in any car. It doesn't matter if you're in the Ferrari. It doesn't matter if you're in the Bentley. If you tap those sausage curves, then you're saying see you later.
Unless you do what I do, I can ride them all as if they don't exist. But that's something I do to my car.
Yeah, your suspension's certainly not going to thank you for that.
No, to be honest, I just reduced the bump at the rear. Instead of being on 50 or whatever that it is on default, I knock it down to about 10. I ride everything like it doesn't exist.
Yeah, one on the front, 10 on the rear.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, you told me that.
I ran that
last week. It worked. Worked a treat. It worked a treat.
It does. It works perfectly. I might not be able to drive anymore. I know what I'm doing, but I just can't drive anymore.
Here we go. We got Jazzman here coming through the final few corners now, though.
Yeah, I was literally just about to say. Yeah, so he's just coming up to the final corner. Yeah, I was going to say an absolutely outstanding performance again from him. I don't think there's anyone that can actually keep up with him on the PS4. I think on the PS5, Titus in the house, his teammate, would often challenge him, but in this season, the PS4, he's literally just walked away with it, and he takes the checkers flag and takes the championship.
Did Ryan Ruby and Reco Vantage? Did Ryan get past? They were very close.
Ryan is right on the back of him, actually, 2 tenths between them as Jazzman is doing some celebratory donuts.
Oh
no!
Have they
Recco's waiting for him. Recco's waiting. Yeah, they've just started the last lap. Recco's waiting for him, so he's Ryan clearly. Well, Recco clearly taking responsibility for that one.
Yeah, it's a one-lap shootout, and I just knew that they were very, very close. So I'm not sure what happened there. How it got so.
I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Jazzman though. I mean, earlier in the season I was watching some of the races and I must admit at times I was thinking to myself, he can't be that good, surely, you know. And I really was itching to get out. I know. I was itching to get out on track. I was thinking, you know, I really want the chance to try and, you know, test him. And honestly, guys, if you're watching this, if you see the gap and you think, oh, well, come on, I could do a better job. Honestly, you can't. You really can't. He is insanely quick.
And McQueen's
57 seconds behind him.
I was just about to say, he crosses the line in second place. Yeah, almost a minute behind Jazzman.
Half a lap. Half a lap behind him.
Oh, Iron Saber just...
Iron Saber's... No, he's spinned it.
Ryan on the podium. Ryan promotes himself and he's got a bit of a gap here to Recco as well.
Well, considering where Mr. Ruby started off from, he's got to be driver of the day for that.
Recco, to be fair, has hung in there because he's got big damage on the front, side and rear. So
he just couldn't hold it, I think. He just couldn't hold it, I think. But I think Ryan's had a pretty solid race there.
Yeah.
Considering where he started.
This will give him second in the championships. Third place, a podium finish for Ryan. But Ryan always likes to give himself a bit of a challenge, not putting in qualifying laps. But it's a great race from Ryan. Good charge as well from him. A couple of hairy moments.
His car's knackered.
Reco Vantage crosses the line to take fourth. And yeah, is Iron Saber even going to be able to get round?
He's hugging the railing on the left. His car looks as if it's lurching to the left.
So everyone's
going to do it right.
Everyone's finished, so he doesn't have to qualify.
Oh, he's all right.
He doesn't need to cross the line.
I don't think he's going to.
So Iron Saber finishes fifth. Unfortunate for Iron Saber, he's actually putting in a really good race, kind of in podium spots, battling between Reco Vantage quite often. So unfortunate to see him kind of limping home. Is he out of fuel? No, he's spinned it into the wall, and I think he's got so much damage.
He can't turn right. His car's going left. He's got a NASCAR. Look at it. Look at it.
All right, yeah, we click off that. So John Jig finishes sixth. So it's a good result for John Jig, considering he actually started from the pits.
Archie, race, that, though.
Yeah, it was a good race from John Jig, and you could see he was carrying damage as well. Archie then, I think he's just left the server. So Archie finishes 7th, Windsor in 8th, Pete Bibb in 9th, Duke Martin 10th, Lazy Camel 11th, Nielsen 12th, Guitar Rich 13th, Torday 14th, Andy unfortunately had to retire, but was 15th, and Grey Wolf also had to retire.
But it's a shame for him because he was having a damn good race up until then, Grey Wolf.
He was, up in fifth and sixth place. So yeah, it was a good start from him, but unfortunately didn't actually go to plan. But is there anything else that you wanted to kind of add before we finish up here?
All I was going to say was well done to everybody, to be quite honest, because I've only been back here for the last few races, and what I've seen has been high quality for one. Good etiquette for two, and just really good all-round racing. It's been great. Can't wait for next season. I might actually be able to drive in it and be rubbish. But yeah, it was fun. That was good. It was really enjoyable, and I hope the people who were watching enjoyed it, and I hope the people who are going to watch it later will enjoy it, apart from Andy.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I'll be enjoying it because it sounded like a really solid stream from what I was listening, and also great comms, so good job, boys, and thanks a lot.
Thanks very much.
Leave it to the old boys, you see. We know what we're doing.
Hey, let's not be old.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that. I've only got 14 years on you, but that's nothing. You know, that young boy there, wet behind the ears, he don't know what he's in for yet. Anyway, I've been me, you've been you, he's been him. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, hope you've all enjoyed the stream tonight, and hopefully you enjoyed the championship. And we'll be back soon. We're putting an announcement out where we'll be back soon to start up another GT3 championship on a Wednesday night.
That young boy wet behind the ears, he don't know what he's in for you. Oh no, that's not me back. I could hear me again then. No.